Hi, Book Monster Mitch. Want to go over some 2026 goals. If I meet these, it's great. If not, so be it. That's the way I look at it. That's why I don't do many of these or any of these like, you know, other YouTube creators might this time of year, because like I just said, if I meet them, awesome. If not, so be it. Better luck in the future. Um, anyway, all that aside, I am reading, or I will be reading, The Stand in 2026. Although I did start it this month in December of 25, but it counts more as a 26 uh, book to read and goal to accomplish. Now, with that being an 1150 page book at least, uh, I'll just see how everything goes, how much I'm able to read, um, whatever, however it goes, it goes. Now, I told John from Talking Story, um, he and I messaged back and forth in the comment section of the Talking Story channel earlier this evening, um, before recording this, a few hours before recording this. I told John in the comment section that a goal of mine would be a more personal goal of mine is to write as much as possible, um, of my own personal standalone sci-fi first contact alien invasion story that I started working on. Write as much of that as I can. And then maybe 2027, 2028, thereabouts, depending how everything goes for me, look into publishing. So, you know, The Stand is my main focus on reading for the coming year. Um, and the first contact alien invasion story, which I'm just going to say the title right here, right now, is Dawn Shall Come. I was hesitant on saying the title and have been hesitant on saying it just in case it fluctuates and changes. As of right now, I really don't think so. I think that title is here to stay. But if it does change for any given reason, I'll let you know. Um, when and if that does happen. Like I said, I don't see that happening, at least as of right now, as I'm recording this. So I'm only 600 words in, a little, maybe give or take, a little over 600 words. So that's not terrible. I mean, writing, as with all things, takes time. But something like writing, you can't and should not force it. Let it come naturally and let it take its own flow and take the author, in this case me, along for the ride so I'm able to later on give you, my potential readers, a ride as well. So that's just my little philosophy on writing. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments what you think. If you feel I'm right with that uh, philosophy or feeling, or would you rather, if you were writing or are writing, do you kind of, you know, make the story go where you would like it to go? Um, really, there's no wrong answer, but I really don't see anybody making the story where they want it to go, as long as you have a broad scope of, a beginning and an end. Let the middle section carve and find its own path. Um, like rivers or oceans, let the water, as it were, as it is, the water being the words in this case, let the words kind of evolve in the sentences and paragraphs and everything. Let that come naturally, and it should be alright in the end. Um, so yeah, forgive me for kind of being long-winded there, but really, that's the only goals I have for 2026 and a little beyond. Like I said, maybe if everything goes as I'm hoping right now, maybe, I'm not saying publish and have a book out definitely by 27 or 28, but you know, look through and see what I have to do within maybe um, the latter half of 26 into 27. And, time will tell. Things will happen the way they're meant to happen. Look, I started off writing a fantasy trilogy, and never say never, but right now I had to throw in the towel. Because even though I was letting that flow naturally, it just it came in too much of a trickle and drips and everything else. So things happen the way they happen, and this this Dawn Shall Come First Contact invasion story is more or less a pet project of mine, I guess you could say, because really, give or take 24 years ago, in high school, is when I first started experimenting with this story, and things happen for a reason. Too long-winded to get into reasons why it didn't happen, but it didn't happen back then. But as fate would have it, I'm back on it now, back on that path. So again, I'll just see what happens. And like I said before, this is a standalone. It's not book one of trilogy or, multiple books. It's one and done, in and out by itself. So that's a good thing, thankfully, because although I'd like to write multiple books, I think the biggest problem is I don't have that in me right now. The stamina, the energy, any of that. Look for the authors that do it right out the gate. Like Christopher Rocchio, right out the gate, he wrote a 7-book series, Sun Eater. Bravo, good for him. And although it sounds sarcastic, it's I'm not trying to be. I somehow, in one way or another, envy people like that, even though, you shouldn't envy or be jealous of. I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying, I wish I could. I would like to. I have the story in me. It's just find a way to get it out, express it, all of that. So, and then as far as reading, also, I'll, you know, sprinkle in some lighter reads, maybe a standalone here and there, along with the stand, like, um, but, oh yeah, yeah, Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I started that over the past weekend, so I just read a page of it. So, and then earlier today, this afternoon, this evening, whatever, I read the first page of chapter 1 in The Stand, you know. So, yeah, I'm reading a page here or there, but eventually it'll add up to a few pages here, there, and hopefully, at least in the case of Project Hail Mary, I'll have the whole book read. And also, speaking of John from Talking Story, more along the lines of him and Amy and Jacob. I'd like to finish their book Discovery before the next book is due out. When that'll be, I don't know. I have time. I'm sure. I'm 50 pages in, but that's only 450-page book altogether. So, and really, Discovery, the storyline of Discovery being a first contact type of story. Sci-fi first contact, cosmic horror, you know, that's kind of what sparked this idea or this feeling to get back to Dawn Shall Come myself. So I credit um, the Mentons for that, at least in part, a big part, honestly. But honestly, I would have gotten back to it on my own. But reading their take on the genre, on the, storyline, I wanted to, I needed to. So thank you, Mentons and Talking Story family. You lit the spark in me, lit my fuse, my writing fuse, so to speak. But with that, I'll let you go and have a good day, good evening. Love each other, take care of each other, all that. This is Book Monster Mitch once again, and I'll come back to you with another video very soon. Thank you.